and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Jimmy Dore was right. Independent media was right. Hard lens media was right. How about this? No, take that back. Wibbly wobbly, timely wibbly. Jimmy Dore was correct. All of independent media was correct. Hard lens media was correct. Convo Couch, correct. Nico House, correct. Everyone has been correct about the failures of the Democratic Party as we weave closer and closer to the end of this midterm election cycle. There's been a lot of talk about low voter turnout, how the Democrats have missed out on opportunities, which is something they always do. The Democrats failed with Medicare for All. The Democrats failed with UBI, student debt forgiveness, protecting women's reproductive rights. I got a couple of videos, and shout out to Case Study QB. And again, look, folks, I'm going to prove to you why Jimmy Dore is correct in a 50-second video. 50 seconds, it will show how Jimmy Dore is correct and how all of independent media is correct on the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party. Now, by no means, I want to be clear here, especially to those jagoffs in the vote blue no matter who crowd who says, we got to vote Democrat to stop fascism. Let me be clear here. Let me be very clear here. The Republican Party's no good either. The fact that the Democrats, who theoretically could be correct on the issues and it could be bringing in big epic wins, are failing at this shows you that they know what they're doing. It's malicious on purpose. They know what they're doing, and they're allowing the GOP to run rampant. And here's the thing. The two-party system are friends. George Carlin was right. It's one big club, and you ain't in it. Remember, Trump used to be a Democrat, and Hillary Clinton used to be a Goldwater girl, and so many Democrat and Republican lawmakers have been either Republicans or Democrats switching teams. What's the difference? I don't know. Yeah. There really is none.
The Democrats, Republicans switch sides like someone lacing their boot.
Exactly. So I want to pull up this video of one hard-hitting politician who doesn't hold anything back. Yes, she's a strong person. Oh, wait, she has no backbone at all and easily suckered by Manchin. Pramila Jayapal is joining us. Here we go. Full interview, Pramila Jayapal on Democrats' midterm messaging and threats to, democracy. But we live in an oligarchy, so she's full of crap.
My first question is, I know the Democrats have been running ahead of these midterms on a message about what Joe Biden has done broadly in terms of jobs in the economy and the threat that women are facing, families are facing everywhere in terms of reproductive choice. Do you think Democrats have painted a strong enough picture of the chaos that awaits in November and beyond if Republicans take back the House?
Well, I think we're finding out every day more and more of the chaos that they will create because they're putting it on the table. Like you said, they're not hiding it. We will see more.
I want to remind everyone that the Democratic Party had a month and a half notice due to a memo leak that came out where they could have codified Roe v. Wade during that time. A month and a half, folks. A month and a half. They could have done something to protect women's reproductive rights. Talk about a major political win that they willingly slip out of their fingers in order to do fundraising on.
It's also like, Democrat. There's always so many metaphors you can make between these parties that are really party. Democrats are like, hey guys, I know you're refugees and you don't have access to food. The truck is coming. It'll be here tomorrow. Tomorrow happens. It's been delayed. It'll be here tomorrow. And that keeps going on in the background. What's happening is every day that the truck's delayed, the Democrats make a little money off of it. And then when Republicans get in, they go, we have taken the food. It doesn't matter what the rationale is in each step along the way. What matters is the result.
Agreed. Let's play a little bit more and hear what this coward has to say.
You said 50 seconds. I'm still counting.
Oh, hold on. No. I have a video. I didn't say it was this video, but I do have a video.
Oh, so you're being a little unclear. I get it. You're channeling some Democratic mantras. Go ahead.
No. I was very. I said I have a 50-second video. I didn't say this video.
Like Durham's investigation, we will see the Justice Department politicized. We will see all of the programs that really matter to people across the country, particularly in this moment when people are still struggling with the high cost of living. Cutting Social Security and Medicare, two of the most popular programs in the history of this country, and having a party that is really about saying no to the American people, using Congress as a hostage site, which is what he's talking about. And we've seen this over and over again. When Democrats have been in power, we have voted to raise the debt ceiling. Mm-hmm. And we haven't tied it to policy because we understand that the entire country needs the debt ceiling to be raised.
Okay, so let's talk about all the opportunities that Democrats had, especially when they did have a supermajority, or the times when they did control the House and Senate. Go ahead, Daniel. Go ahead.
Can I just say, like, how stupid this is? Okay, so first of all, let's just talk about the debt ceiling as a concept right now. The debt ceiling is Congress holding a gun to itself as a concept so that they can further negotiate things. The whole reason the debt ceiling exists is Congress passes a budget and they say, President, you have to spend this money on these things. And then they, a lot of times, will spend more than the money they take in. And so then they go, you still have to spend the money. And the president then goes, okay, but then I have to borrow to make your bill happen the way you want. And they go, we're going to make you look like a fool if you can't pay for the gun that we put to your head. And so when she's bringing up, well, someone has to do the debt ceiling, it's like, someone has to keep the cycle going of putting a gun to our head for no apparent reason that doesn't accomplish anything. I can't think of anything more accurate that she's actually said now that I'm thinking about it than what she just said. Because effectively she's saying Democrats are needed to do a kabuki theater that helps Republicans get what they want.
Agreed. Let's play a little bit more in here. And again, I want to play this entire interview in its entirety because again, it's nothing but word salads and confirmation points for the vote blue no matter who crowd and the sucker progressives who think that the Justice Democrats are really going to do anything. If you want to see my full interview with Sabby Sabs, check it out. It's available on Rockfin in our links in the description box below.
For Kevin McCarthy to be saying so clearly that he plans to hold everything hostage, to put politics over people, and to be a party that is controlled by extreme MAGA Republicans, I think has got to be part of the message that's out there.
Well, yeah, because I remember in 2018, right, there was a lot happening in terms of impeachment, but when you went to those important swing districts across the House, the message discipline was quite good. Democrats were talking about the ACA, they were talking about pre-existing conditions. They weren't actually talking about.
Actually, in 2018, there was supposedly a progressive movement where they were talking about Medicare for all, student debt forgiveness. Dan, what happened to that?
To what? The idea that they were trying to market themselves as a viable party. That's the thing. Like Democrats always say, oh man, we're going to give you all these things. Then elections happen and they get voted, and every person on TV is like, you idiot, you thought they were going to give you these things? Don't you get the American system?
Yeah, exactly. Let's play a few more seconds into this, and then we'll switch things up with old hagbag Nancy, Mama Bear, Nancy Pelosi.
About a lot of other things that would be, I think, more politically expedient, and it worked. And I guess my question is, that doesn't seem to be the same message that Democrats are using right now. Is there time to change it in the remaining weeks? And also, why does Kevin McCarthy think that this message works? Like, why do Republicans feel they can talk about slashing Medicare and Social Security and not pay a price for it politically?
Well, they lost because when we were talking about health care and they were talking about crazy things, people said, you're talking about crazy things. We're not going to vote for you. We're going to vote for our economic interests. And I think now they have been taken over. They are the party of the big lie, the party of the cult of Donald Trump. They're the party of people who do not identify with even Liz Cheney. I mean, it's crazy now.
Okay, pause that real quick. I love, like, again, it's like everything she's saying proves everything that we say about this. Again, like everyone knows, Republican Congress people, senators, they're bad. Everyone agrees on that, even their own voters. It's the problem is that Democratic voters still think that Democrats are useful at the same time. And so she's like, Liz Cheney, yeah, this is the defense of the Democrat is we're needed because we keep the gun pointing at your own head situation rolling in a comfortable way. And we got the best former Republicans. Ironically, the Republican Party has the best former Democrats from their point of view. So I guess nothing really changes and everyone operates the same way.
Exactly. And I also want to point this out, too, for everyone watching. Folks, the Democrats know what they're doing and failing and dropping the ball because they were never going to fight for these issues. Here, I want to pull up again how, again, the Democrats, due to their own willingness to be malicious, and they are malicious, it's on purpose. Here you have the Speaker of the House, who was, again, elected into office by AOC and the squad. Pelosi insists crime, inflation, not big midterm issues, but abortion is. And be very clear here, look, abortions and women's reproductive rights are important issues, but to dismiss crime, to dismiss inflation, especially this economic hardship that we're all going through, as well as a housing crisis where people are being evicted. Remember, the Democrats had a month-and-a-half long notice through a leaked memo to do something to codify Roe v. Wade. So old hagbag Nancy denied recent polling showing rising crime and rising prices are top issues to voters this November. They're going to get a slap in the face because, again, midterms are a low voter turnout. Joining President Biden trying to turn the focus on abortion rights. You'll see where I'm going with this, folks. A New York Times Siena College poll released Monday showed the economy, inflation were the most important issues to a combined 44% of likely voters, part of a larger shift towards Republicans just three weeks before Election Day. When MSDNC host Adriana Mitchell cited the poll during the interview with old hagbag Nancy, Mama Bear Nancy, on Tuesday, the House Speaker, she wasn't having it. She wagged her finger at her just like as much like she did when she made AOC cry. Much of what you said, I don't agree with. Well, really? The New York Times poll, I think, is an outlier poll. When Mitchell countered with the Real Clear Politics average is showing similar issues, the speaker would not relent. Oh, no. But that was one that brought down the average, and it was an outlier, Pelosi insisted. It wasn't even it wasn't that big a sample, so I dismissed that. Just like how I dismissed polls, how Bernie Sanders was popular amongst voters and the Democratic establishment, like Nancy, were dismissing him, even though Bernie's a cuck and willingly let himself get screwed over.
Nancy's like, no, the world has to hit my viewpoint, or it's Republican and evil.
Yep.
Again, it's like everyone, like, it's just like, when we talk to people we don't agree with, we don't go, hey, you're a bad person. You're bad. You're bad. What we do is we say, here's a lot of reasons why you're bad. But we let the evidence carry itself through.
Now, the thing is, and again, the article goes more into detail of Nancy isn't having it. But remember, on Tuesday, President Biden pledged to codify abortion rights. What was stopping him then? What was stopping the Democrats under Obama's administration or even under Bill Clinton's administration? There was nothing at all stopping them. And what this is nothing but theatrics, feel-good politics. And the thing is, we've seen this over and over again. I want to pull one video up here real quick. I want to play it. It's only 1 minute, 20 seconds, but everyone will see where I'm going with this. Because when I tell a story here on Hard Lens Media, when I'm covering something, there's always a reason, a rhyme, why things are happening. So here's Nancy's little successor, AOC. She's confronted by Frank Analysis. Shout out to him. Phenomenal work catching this video. This was in 2021, by the way.
Mama forgot that. Mama waved the flag. It's all about the ego. But it's about us. I'm so proud to protect. There's a being protecting the meek and the weak from being exploited.
And by the way, folks, again, this was done in 2021, where this was the infamous protest where AOC and Cori Bush were doing a protest at the Capitol building because, oh no, millions of Americans are at risk of being evicted from their homes and apartment, which, mind you, again, is still happening to millions of Americans right now in 2022, a year after.
Well, don't you know, Kit, that them doing that protest, it changed everything.
Oh, yeah.
We went from it being completely ignored to being mostly ignored with the exact same outcome.
True.
AOC, is it okay if I get like a question or two? Question two, what's the next steps? What are you guys going to do to pressure your colleagues? How are you going to pressure your colleagues? Why are you guys doing this last minute? Why weren't you guys doing this for months? That's it. So you just show up for a photo op and that's it. You're not actually going to fight in Congress. No, what is she going to do? You want to talk about it here? We can discuss right here very civilly. I'm completely independent.
Shout out to independent media. We need more voices out there. So look, the reason why I played that video is because...
by the way, what she could have said that would have been absolutely hysterical? I don't talk to independent media.
True.
That's her actions.
Look, I also want to point this out here too, while people are paying attention about this. The reason why I played that video, especially with the housing crisis that we're still in, is that the Democrats say things that we want to hear. You know, Ro Khanna recently tweeted out another feel-good tweet. Oh, we need to legalize marijuana. Well, no shit, Sherlock. We all want it legalized. But see, again, it's all words to these people. And on Tuesday, old sleepy, creepy Uncle Joe decided to post on again, state that he was going to now codify Roe v. Wade. Now, this is not this video, but the video that will follow afterwards will show that Jimmy Dore and all of independent media is correct on the failures of the Democrats. Let's play this video again from Case Study QB. He's wrongly being censored on Twitter.
President Joe Biden vowed that the first bill he would send to Congress next year would codify Roe v. Wade if Democrats can expand their control of Congress. In a speech at a DNC event yesterday, Biden...
Pause it real quick.
Right.
Go ahead.
This is exactly what I'm talking about again. They know they're not going to expand their seats. They know that they're going to reduce them. That's why they're promising this.
Oh.
If they were going to take the seats and it was very obvious that they were going to do so, they would not put this message out. How do I know that? Because for decades they haven't. For decades they've had the opportunity to make this push and they never did. So under the do-nothing Biden presidency, are we really supposed to expect that they would do something about this? The only reason that they're putting out that message is to fundraise.
Exactly.
That's it.
And that's what they did.
Would codify Roe v. Wade if Democrats can expand their control of Congress. In a speech at a DNC event yesterday, Biden doubled down on abortion rights as a voting issue for Democrats this November.
Okay, let me just read. Like, okay, watch this. If they cared about it, you know what that title would say? It would just be the first line. There's no if. There's no if. If is the same as but in this circumstances.
If
it's a Kit, I will solve world hunger. I have a foolproof plan if I had all the money in the world.
Well,
wow, what a useless statement I just made. That does nothing but get people to think that the problem might potentially be solved. So people are going to see that. Democrats go, well, I'm voting. I'm surrounded in a perfectly blue district where we know Democrats are going to win. I'm going to do my part. I'm not going to question the party. And then I'm going to blame the people who I'm actually trying to get on my side if it doesn't work. So when they don't win their numbers, mark my words, one of the arguments they're going to give is, yeah, but the youth didn't come out to vote, and we don't really care about their issues anyway.
By the way, again, where are all those people who said they'd be storming the streets nonstop if anything happened to Roe v. Wade? Where are they at?
Well, they're right there.
If you care about the right to choose, then you got to vote. That's why in these midterm elections are so critical. Elect more Democratic senators to the United States Senate and more Democrats to keep control of the House of Representatives. And folks, if we do that, here's the promise I make to you and the American people. The first bill that I will send to the Congress will be to codify Roe v. Wade.
Okay.
During that same...
Okay, first of all, Biden can't send a bill. Biden, you should know that. You've been in Congress. It's a kind of a big deal between the two of them. Kit, Kit told me right before the show started that he's going to be getting a second GI Bill, possibly, and he's going to be donating 100% of it to charity.
Damn.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't he such a good guy for a thing that'll ultimately be him not doing anything? Isn't that amazing? Kit, don't you feel like a hero? Just like those brave people on TV. Oh, man, I promise that if we take back the House and the Senate, which we currently control, by the way, just putting it out there, we're going to make a law happen that we've ignored for 30 years.
You know something, folks? So the reason why I played that video and all those videos from Case Study QB and also Frank Analysis is to show that the Democrats say things you want to hear. I swear I've heard the word, oh, we're going to do something to codify Roe v. Wade. We're going to protect women's reproductive rights. I promise, I swear, I've heard it somewhere. I heard it somewhere before, and they were going to make it a top priority issue. Here, in 52 seconds, Jimmy Dore is going to show once again why he was correct. All of independent media has been correct. Why me and Daniel here at Hard Lens and our entire crew have been correct about the Democratic establishment.
But don't you know, Kit, of course, that being negative to the Democratic establishment and being repeatedly correct about their action, don't you know that makes you a white supremacist?
Well, you know what? I don't care what vote blue, no matter who thinks of me, because they have no power. They have no backbone. And can they really call themselves an adult because they're living in a fantasy world? Hey, your politician cares about you? Tell me what it's like to believe in Santa Claus and leprechauns and the Tooth Fairy and the Loch Ness Monster. What's it like seeing Sasquatch in your backyard taking a dump?
So if you voted for Barack Obama because he said this.
Well, the first thing I do as president is sign the Freedom of Choice Act.
Huh. I swear.
Isn't that what Joe Biden just said?
Yeah, hold on. Wait. Maybe Jimmy Dore got it wrong. So we're going to rewind it again. Maybe Jimmy's not correct. Hold on. Let's play it again.
So if you voted for Barack Obama because he said this.
Well, the first thing I do as president is sign the Freedom of Choice Act.
Okay.
That's the first.
And if you believed him, turns out you were a sucker because as soon as he got it.
Now, the Freedom of Choice Act is not my highest legislative priority.
Bam.
But guys,
Or
remember,
maybe you voted for Joe Biden because he said.
I would.
guys, remember, to all, because I know we had a Jimmy Dore hater pop in here, which is always really funny because they always are like, hey, he's bad, look how bad he is. And then we're like, proof, he's a right winger. That's our proof. I don't know. I personally like people who get a story right and can see the way that things are working, so that in the future when they happen, it happens very much in the same way that they brought it up. A lot more than people who are the opposite, people who say stuff that never comes true but remain in power because someone is keeping them in power to do that. But it's like, it's not the 5 companies that own 92% of all media that are bought out crap. It's not TYT's taken over $20 million of Katzenberg cash. And what happened to that $2 million that got raised again for the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse? No, the person who is the most corrupt, the most right wing, is the comedian who does a show in his garage. Right. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Well, see, people are childish and they haven't matured. You got a lot of jagoffs out there, Daniel.
Send immediately to the desk of the United States Congress when I'm elected president, if I'm elected president, a codification of Roe v. Wade amended by Casey.
And of course, we all know he didn't do that. Well, Jimmy, what is codification anyway? So if you voted for either of those two guys or you voted Democrat because you cared about abortion, you're a chump and a sucker. And who makes you a chump and a sucker? Not me. Joe Biden and Barack Obama made you a chump and a sucker.
There you go. How can I argue with that? Gee, Biden made that as his campaign promise. What was stopping him from making that historic codification? What was stopping him?
And again, I think the real answer to everyone on this is the Democratic Party makes a lot of money using it as a fundraising issue.
Yep, and that's what they did after Roe v. Wade was overturned. What did old hagbag Nancy, Dianne Feinstein, who've been in power for a long time, as well as every other Democratic politician do? Sent out emails. Hell, our even Jagoff Mayor Lori Lightfoot sent out an email saying, we got to fundraise to protect abortion rights, so give money to the Democratic Party. That is the dumbest thing, the dumbest email, most insulting thing I've ever seen. And if you actually donated money to the Democratic parties and hoping that they would do something to codify Roe v. Wade or do something, they could have codified it decades ago. They had a month-and-a-half long notice through a leaked memo that the Supreme Court was going to overturn Roe v. Wade, and they did nothing about it. So if you gave money to the Democratic Party or voting Democratic, you're a sucker. If you vote Republican and donate to the Republican Party, you're a sucker. You're a very good puppet. Daniel, how about this? Because I feel like people deserve a punch in the nose of truce. I'm going to give you the final word to this segment.
Okay. The reason the Democrats don't want this vote to happen, besides that it's a pretty decent chunk of their income, is that they know if the vote happens, it'll expose the number of Democrats that aren't even for it.
Exactly. Truth.
Again, I prefer Republicans in that they tell me they're going to stab me in the face. Democrats put on that sheepskin cloth and they go, no, I'm safe. I'm here to help. I will watch out for the wolves if they come. I'll do something. I promise you, everyone sleeps soundly at night. They unzip, they eat someone. Truth. I prefer the lack of manipulation. I prefer it to be in my face than to pretend. Because look, and the reason is that, look, if the America all saw it for what it is, I would see them equal. The fact that the Democratic ploy works on people is the issue that we're trying to call out.
Truth.